BitShares is a world-class blockchain like Bitcoin with a digital currency platform boasting enterprise-level scalability and throughput with separations of power and self-governance baked in. Need the power of a blockchain with the stability of a dollar? We invented it and tested it for 3 years. Want to make a loyalty token, coupon, or shares in your business? We have you covered. Wish to add world-class development? This tech can fund your work. Whether for an everyday entrepreneur or computer-savvy code guru, BitShares provides tools to empower a world of unapologetic innovators to wield and share value with a level of freedom once thought impossible. Meet a community of such innovators every Friday at 2 p.m. UTC, led by Chris Herring and Fuzzy, to play a role in the evolution and advancement of this state-of-the-art project. Welcome to the BitShares revolution. You just leveled up.
Welcome everybody to another BitShares Hangout. This is part of the Beyond Bitcoin community. Today is Friday, May 12th, 2017. And in the Beyond Bitcoin ecosystem, we have BitShares that is the flagship of what we launched with. We've always been interested in cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, and disruption. But BitShares has brought a new level of use cases, a spectrum of possibilities that before it existed were only dreams in the eyes of people who were interested in technology and this disruptive manifestation of what we call the blockchain. So we join every week to be humble, to be honest, as a community of shareholders who are interested in BitShares and its future and its evolution, because we realize that with new technology, it's always a double-edged sword. And as a community, we have to kind of grow and guide ourselves and make the right decisions in difficult times. And because of that, we have these hangouts on a weekly basis that cover some of the most important things in the hearts and minds of BitShares holders. And with that said, we don't have a specific agenda this week, but we're going to begin having every week, I'm going to post a BitShares RSVP thread. And it'll be a questions and answers thread. And you will be able to ask your BitShares questions directly in there. And those questions that are in there, we will try to cover as many of them as we can every week. That will be the agenda. Now, with that said, I would like to go ahead and I'd like to open up and say, does anybody have anything specifically that they would like to talk about this week? We have a couple of things that I think are going to come up, but I want to make sure that everybody here considers posting one thing.
Well, I would be quite interested to learn more about your latest project, Fuzzy. I think you just announced the Whales Shares project. How will that affect actually the BitShares platform? And can you tell us a little bit more about that, please?
Wow, to be on the other end. I think Whale Shares, what we've done is we've said Whale Shares in the Steam ecosystem in Steam, and we have now the MIT license for Steam. So we have new chains that will exist. We even have Golos currently, and many of them will have potentially general voting schemes that will work similarly. So we felt like if we create Whale Shares for something like Steam first as the use case, what people can do, like a whale who has a lot of steam power, they can keep powered up, not powered down, and they can leverage BitShares to gain value by creating vote tokens that are good to be redeemed for a vote from my account, for instance. I can maybe, as a whale, I can set it so it takes 10 of my tokens to get a 100% up vote. And you send that to me via the BitShares wallet with a U in the beginning. Then you give me the Steam post that you would like upvoted or downvoted. A D would be for downvote. And then you paste the link and you send it to my account, my token. And by doing that, we're creating liquidity on the DEX as well, because some of these whales are going to want to sell their token. So we're going to have the ability to create tokens that will actually be usable for votes across multiple different chains that have synergistic voting schemes. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to do two things. We're trying to get it so Steam power holders don't want to power down, and we're also wanting to drive a bunch of traffic to the DEX, which is BitShares. And BitShares is helping us do that because we're going to be having this whale shares thing. So yeah, it's going to be really cool, and we're going to actually upgrade these to Whale Tank. We're going to have Whale Tank hangouts, and people who have a lot of Steam power behind backing a token, they'll be able to pass out tokens to those people who are working on projects that are very beneficial to the ecosystem, but might not otherwise get funded. And that'll also help them trend on Steemit. So we're creating a positive feedback loop that becomes kind of like an unstoppable cycle. And we feel like that's a great place to start. And not only that, votes, to my knowledge, there's no laws about giving out tokens that are good for a vote on a blockchain. So that's that would be the summary, I guess, of all of it. So it's really going to be pretty cool.
Say, Fuzzy, one thing I will give you, I was up very late last night and the night before, actually, but last night I watched the hero video Stan linked in his post that he posted last night on Steemit. And one thing I'll give you is I do now understand your tokenizing scheme with ShareBits more than I ever did before. I'm not saying I believe that it could 100% work, but I understand the mechanics a little better now because it really ties in. At least it can work with gamification. If it doesn't have gamification, I'm not sure I understand. But if it has gamification, then I really see the benefit of it.
The key is to always try to build things and have tools that people who are just as smart or smarter than you can use to build even more amazing things is my goal. Because I know that I have a lot of great ideas, but I also am not stupid enough to think that a bunch of other people don't have amazing ideas. And if we can leverage those ideas and empower everybody who's kind of like building things like this, then we're better off, in my mind. Like, it's about that creating gravity, where everything wants to come to this. Like, that's how you create a solid force, But anything else? Does anybody have any questions about it? It's a good thing to bring up, Chris. I appreciate you bringing it up. I would love to I'm going to start passing out vote tokens of my own to all of you guys, to people who join our Hangouts, who participate in our Hangouts, to those of you who are here today. As soon as I can start getting these tokens, you're going to start receiving them, actually. So
it's basically a token on the BitShares platform, right? And you will have some voting power with that. And what exactly can you vote on? How, like, a big Steemit bot will be used, or how does it work?
It would be something like, it's going to be a bot. It's going to be a service that's going to have a server, obviously, right? And it's going to read the blockchain, and it's going to see, when something's coming in. And that service is going to hold the Steemit account key, the voting key, not the key, not the active key or anything like that, because that way, because of this brilliant design with Steem, we don't have to worry so much. If somebody gets a hold of the keys, well, they can upvote, That's bad, but worst case scenario, right? So we have it set up this way, and what's going to happen is we're going to be able to give people these tokens. They're going to be able to then just go out and get upvotes. And it's going to, I think, kind of what Thomas was saying, it's going to enable people to gamify it a little bit more, right? They're going to be able to, like, for instance, you guys are a great group for me to pass these tokens out to, right? The people who join up and who back Beyond Bitcoin, the ones who I see running around Steemit saying, hey guys, Beyond Bitcoin's here, we've been here from the very beginning, the people who are supporting us, like really supporting us, those are going to be the people who get these tokens. And the people who are here, I would urge you guys to consider what you can do to help Beyond Bitcoin, and so we can start getting some of these tokens into your hands.
Is there a way how you can earn these tokens? I think we have a question here from Customer who's asking, can I earn whale shares by proxying my Steemit vote power to the whale shares account? So is there some kind of like kickback?
Oh, by proxying? You're saying proxying your Steam power?
Yes. I don't know. Is it actually possible that you can proxy Steam power?
You can now delegate Steam power, and
then without giving out your private key or something?
Yes, you essentially are giving them Steam power, but you can take it back at any time, and it acts as theirs.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, it is really cool, right? To be honest with you, Custom Miner, that's something that I've thought about. It wouldn't be the first thing that we would have, but it is something I've thought about. We're going to have this thing where when it comes out, we're going to have it so you can do upvoting and downvoting. The whale will be able to set how much they have, and then what I'm going to do with my whale shares tokens, and this is going anything that my account gains, I'm just going to keep powering it up. So my official fuzzy account, I'll probably take half of what I make from posts and put it in there to power it up. So you guys will see that I'm going to start investing in building up this token. And I'm going to use official fuzzy pretty much, and I'm just going to power that down as I do, like with the half of what I earn, and keep the wife happy type thing. Because if the wife is happy, I can play on this stuff as much as I want. Lafone is saying, is the idea that different whales could have their own tokens as well? Or is the goal to have only one token? Hell no. The goal is never just to have one token, Lafona. I actually am struggling with my own ownership of it, to be honest with you. And that's probably a problem that I shouldn't have. It's my idea, but I am not building it. I am paying to have it built. It's my idea, though. So should I own some of it? And is it going to be evil? Am I going to become too powerful if I do own this thing? And I don't know. But whale shares is going to become powerful, and I'm thinking about ways of maybe I can get a worker proposal and I can give it to the community. You guys can pay me back in BitShares, and we can make it so some of the profits go toward BitShares or something. I don't know. We could think about some of that stuff. But it's very important to me that these big, powerful tools don't exist just to be in the hands of one person. You know what I mean? I hope that answers your question. Yes, it is essentially creating a market for buying and selling Steam votes using a BitShares UIA. That is exactly perfectly stated. Why don't you talk a little bit more?
I think that is a very nice summary. Of course, Lafona, it would be great if you also speak up and share your messages. Further question: how do I get the BitShares UIA? Do I have to buy that to get control over these Steam votes, or can I earn it?
You will need a Steam wallet. A BitShares wallet. I would imagine you probably are going to need to go to Steam quite a bit because we are going to post a lot of the stuff on Steam. We will eventually have Beyond Bitcoin forums as well where we can talk about this stuff. But it's going to all start from getting the BitShares wallet. A user goes and downloads that wallet, or they open up an open ledger account. However you do it, you've got to get a BitShares wallet in your hands. And the reason is that BitShares wallets are much different than most wallets out there. It's an entire DEX. You open that sucker up, and it's like you're opening up Polynex on a blockchain, right? And we know that with the DDoSs that all these big centralized services are dealing with, we don't have to worry about that stuff quite as much. And we have something that's really cool in this. So you download this wallet, and then you can make your own UIAs. And if you want to make your own UIA, that's the first step. But once you have that UIA done, you're going to need people to back you with Steam Power if you don't have your own. So you should either earn Steam Power, buy it, or ask people to delegate it who trust you, who have a reason to trust you, who believe that you're busting your butt all the time and really doing good for the ecosystem. And I urge whales to always keep that in mind too. Don't give out too many tokens at once. You never know who's going to get them and if they're going to do something wrong with them when they get too many of them. But you will end up backing those by having people delegate it. You'll connect up your Steemit account, and then now you'll have it where you'll define those, how many votes it takes for a percentage. So how many votes does it take to get a 100% vote from you? How many votes does it take to get, tokens does it take to get a down vote from you, a full down vote from you? And you'll be open for business, essentially. So if you have one of these tokens and you're handing it out, not only are you handing out, but you're also in a great position to start referring people to BitShares and getting referral benefits, right? So all of this is like the brilliant design of these blockchains has enabled us to build tools that are so powerful and much cheaper than it would probably be to build them in any other way. Long answer, I guess, Chris, but you do need that BitShares wallet, is my point. So refer on.
Oh, I think that's totally fine. Well, I'm very excited to test that. I want to play around with that feature and see how that works. I must say, actually, on Steam, there's so much new stuff coming up right now, especially with the Steam price increase. It's absolutely amazing. This platform is growing, and with your new tool, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to really be there and spend all your time. I really wonder, who's still on Facebook.
On Facebook?
Yeah, if you can play on Steam. Steam is so much cooler. That's just a fantastic platform.
And it's enabled by BitShares, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I'm very excited to see what is going to happen, or what's going to happen on the Consensus this year. The Consensus is the biggest blockchain conference, and there's a lot of good news coming up. So I'm looking forward how that will impact all of our ecosystem. Well, I would like to go to the next topic, and as I read on the chat room, we're gonna have a word of Stan, and he's gonna tell us a little bit more about the Hero project, because I think that is something really. And Stan, are you here today?
I sure am. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Take us away. You're our superhero.
Well, I tell you, we are pretty excited about what's going on. I got to give credit where credit's due. This opportunity was brought to us by Michael Taggart, who is an internet marketer, and he's got a bunch of internet marketer community. They all know each other. They all teach each other different techniques and how to have the most effective sales campaign and so on. And one of their leaders, Matt Trainer, decided that he was going to put together a Game Master Academy that would train all the other marketers out there, not just the ones who are putting it on, but hundreds of others that are in that community, how to use some of the key technologies that he thinks are going to change everything. He took this idea to some friends of his at Hollywood who are doing a Shark Tank type TV show. I think that their hope is it'll evolve into a bi-weekly show, but that depends on how good the first one goes. But they've got $50 million put up to award to startups for the Shark Tank show that's going on Sunday, the 28th of May. So the two groups formed an alliance to put together a big event to call attention to what both of them wanted to do, and integrated a lot of what cost ties in it to make it all work together. And then he went out looking for experts that would be able to talk about the different technologies. And just to remind everybody from the post, the four technologies are blockchain, gamification, crowdfunding, and virtual reality or augmented reality. So all those things were part together. And thanks to Michael Taggart, I got a chance to do the TED Talk on blockchain. Now, there'll actually be two conversations on that. One will be just sort of like your, what the heck is a blockchain? Blockchain 101. And then the way I've envisioned the second hour of that will be graduate level blockchain, where we're talking about real-time blockchain technology, everything in the graphene and Dan's got coming and so on. And the reason, or the whole nugget for why we got the gig, is because of the real-time capacity of the blockchain, that they want to do virtual reality and gamification, and they want to tie that into the blockchain. And there's only one line of technology out there that can react to real-time game events. Now, they're still got guys that are working out the details of the exact game, and if I knew exactly how that game was going to work and everything, I couldn't tell you because, that's kind of some part of the suspense. But just to give you an example, the room is supposed to have surrounded by LED panels so that they can project sort of a surround sound or surround video virtual reality. And the whole studio lots, many acres, is being converted into a scavenger hunt of the Pokemon type. So you carry your phone around, and when you find one of these augmented reality items, then you get paid. And guess what currency you're going to get paid in? Guess what blockchain is going to be featured in order to do that real-time kind of payments in the interactive game. So that's what we're putting together right now. I'll stop and let somebody talk before I continue.
No, I'm just wanting to say here, because I'm getting a bunch of people here, if you're looking in chat, a bunch of people are very pumped about this, Stan.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can hear. No, Fuzzy, we cannot hear you anymore. I think it dropped out a couple of people right now.
Testing?
Yes, we hear you, Fuzzy.
Yeah, I was just saying, Stan, I just wanted to say while you were talking here, there are a bunch of people who are very pumped up about this. For anybody who's listening, I for one am also very pumped up about this. This is the type of stuff that we always talk about, right? Gamification. This is the perfect demographic to get crypto into, and to me, that's you guys hitting this demographic. Yeah, perfectly, Stan.
Well,
okay. Suddenly everything went deaf here for me, but since you say you can hear me, I'll continue. Okay, so
to summarize it, basically,
what we're about to do with that is be part of a training session to teach the marketing community some of the new things they can do. What's the motivation for them? Well, an awful lot of them are getting screwed by all the payment services. They make a big sale, start a big sale campaign, and banks come along and shut down their business accounts, or PayPal sequesters a big chunk of their earnings and basically really harms their business. So their original motivation for it was just a way to get paid and stay paid without being clawed back. But after getting involved in putting this thing together and understanding gamification, and I'll just say one sentence about that. Gamification is when you make your sales fun and you reward people for every little thing they do. If you look at a typical sales funnel, it's, start out with a little bit of information, get people to commit by putting in their email, and then maybe they buy something simple, you upsell them, and, that whole process. Well, turn that into a game where people can get paid in real time with a digital currency, and that's, in a nutshell, what they're talking about, all the techniques of gamification. And one of the tools for gamification is the new augmented reality and virtual reality capabilities that are out there. And so we're going to go ahead and show them how to put all those different pieces together. And then they're going to let the audience participation go on and do its learning. And the part of the group that they're recruiting for this are people who are wanting to do startups. And since part of the training is crowdfunding and the selling of new businesses, that's what they're going to try to make happen. And some of those people will get a chance in the first 2 days to present to the group their ideas. And the finalists of that will go into the third day and compete with some of the other people who have been invited to present to the sharks who have $50 million to hand out. And so we're going to be in there teaching people all about this. Now, where does the hero come into all of this? Well, that'll be one of the things featured during my talk. And what we will be pointing out to the marketers is that they need a currency that can be paid and confirmed during their interactive sales pitch. And then they're going to want something that has enough liquidity that when they encounter their customers again, they don't have to wire money to CoinDesk and go onto the whole on-ramp thing. They start to have a buildup of a currency that people are willing to leave online. And how are we going to incentivize them to leave the currency online? Well, 5% interest. Hey, guys, put it in here so wherever you need it, you can use it, and you get paid 5% on it while you're at it. And every one of those marketers is going to be trained in, hey, put it into a common pool. Don't issue your own token because, that's only good for the people that you encounter. But if every one of this marketing community starts funding the token, then, or the same token in the case of the hero, and if people are incentivized to leave it in place so that they can do instant purchases, then, we've got the entire marketing community, no matter what they're marketing, also marketing heroes. And that's sort of like the secret sauce. So at that point, I will stop and hand the microphone back to you, but that's what we're up to.
Wow, I must really say this is a really big thing, and I'm very excited actually that and happy that you could organize also a TED talk, not a TEDx talk because it's a smaller brother, but a TED talk where you're going to talk about blockchain and the hero, and especially about graphene and BitShares. So I think that's going to be just super fascinating. Do you know when that is going to be available so that we can watch that?
28th, I believe, of May, I believe.
That's going to be so cool. I can't wait for that. That's going to be really, really amazing because I really like to watch different TED Talks, and they're always very inspiring, and I'm looking forward to see you there. I mean, this is really good.
Definitely. Thank you, Stan.
I think we have the problem that Stan cannot hear us right now. It's defeated. Okay, he's re-logged in. Well, but to summarize it, I mean, like, wow, isn't it? I mean, like, this hero platform is going to be built based on the BitShares blockchain because apparently, yes, of course, it's the best blockchain. And if you combine it with gamification and with a couple of cool games, I mean, I think you all know what's going to happen.
Not to interrupt, but just in case I missed it, can someone explain the hero system to me in like 3 sentences or 4? Sir Lunch does.
It's all on the forum, Sir Lunch.
Here, I'll say it real quick. It is a token with 5% interest that if you hold it, it always gains interest as opposed to the US dollar and all other fiats kind of currencies that always go down over time. That's
nice. See, I did that on purpose because I remember Solomon saying that if you're going to have a product, you should be able to sum it up in like 5 cents. Plus, you had a hard time with that last time, so I see that you've worked that out.
No, well, go ahead.
Sorry, just a fine distinction. It's actually appreciating at 5%. Just a small technical difference.
Oh, thank you. My
and
apologies.
the collateral is still BitShares at the end, right? I think that's why we see also the huge price increase in BitShares because of that. Yeah, good news. And are there actually any hero tokens already available? Hero USD or something?
I don't believe there is yet. It's not. The feed has not been perfected quite yet with enough people. I do want to add, just to give balance to this discussion about the hero, I read an article on Steemit as well as Stan's from Biophil, who had a really good technical article. Biophil's been around this community for quite a long time. He's not been very visible for some time, but he's an old member of this community, and he posted a rather thorough article on Steemit about it. He's doubtful about it. I'm not sharing his beliefs yet so much, but I think it's a good idea for everybody to kind of review that, just so you can get a balanced view of the perspective. It is a good experiment, so it will be very exciting to see how this rolls out.
Yeah, Biophil and I exchanged quite a lot of conversations about that. You can read the back and forth. We sort of arrived at a common perspective. My point is simply that, or his point is that it may be that the net effectiveness of it is not 5% after you consider that it might sell at a premium, and then you might wind up reselling it at a premium, and therefore you have to take that into account. But that's true of every financial instrument. You got to take the fees and any premiums off of what the definition of the instrument is. And I think we finally agreed that that's true. And so it's fair to advertise it as, by definition, the price feed increases by 5% every year. And so that's the definition, and whatever the market does with it is fair game.
Well, so this is just really so exciting to see your involvement. You've been selected to be one of 200 people to participate in Pitch, what BitShares can do for this this effort that this guy's putting together with CRS. CRS is the name of his company, this marketing guy. So that's extremely exciting. We're talking about major big leagues in terms of promotion and money and everything, guys. If you haven't watched that 3-hour video, if you could skip past the first hour, there's a lot of review and history there about what money is, etc., that I don't think most people here know what that stuff is. So, but the last couple of hours of that was compelling. I was pretty tired after being up the night before until the wee hours in the morning, but I was not sleepy at all. It was very compelling, and I was watching the whole thing last night. So good, Stan. I'm very excited to see how this unfolds.
Thanks for that. I'll be publishing more and more articles about it as we get closer. But that's really, one of the things I think will make a difference. If those marketers, not just the ones who are putting it on, but the ones who attend, and it'll also have a relatively low cost way to call in and watch the thing live by streaming video. That's going to train an awful lot of people, and if they get behind that, every one of those marketers finding a way to sell heroes while they're selling everything else as part of their funnels. I mean, it's like bam. So I'm real excited.
And that TV show, Startup Hollywood Shark Tank, is that broadcasted over regular TV? Is it a Netflix show? Like, how can people watch that show?
Stay tuned. I don't have the details, but the link I put out there will have that kind of information as it goes along. I'm not sure whether the live streaming, I suspect the live streaming may be, you got to sign up and buy the live stream ticket, but it may be that the third day the Shark Tank has other outlets because they want to make it a biweekly series. You can view it as a pilot. If that goes well and everything, they've got funds set aside to keep doing it. And then this other event will be a quarterly event that will be the Academy. And so this is a recurring opportunity.
I mean, like it would be absolutely crazy if you think about it. If you can promote the BitShares platform as a new crowdfunding platform where you have the right tools to basically find money for your idea, and especially if you have a TV show like that in Los Angeles and in San Francisco, and where you have the Silicon Valley, where you have so many desperate entrepreneurs who really look for funding, and they discover the Heroes and BitShares platform where they could basically raise the money they need for their inspiring ideas. I mean, that would set up a cascade of people that are just coming in here. That will be absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and the other thing, I don't know how much will get done all in the first show because there's an awful lot to do, but the concept is that the attendees, and that's online and present, will participate in the initial phase of the crowdfunding right there in the Shark Tank as a way to vote by buying shares in the crowdfunding on who should win. And so the people who are doing the Shark Tank can observe the level of interest out there in the community by people spending real money on tokens for the crowdfund. Now, a lot of that has to get some legal hoops jumped through, so it'll be an approximation of that the first time.
And actually, if you make that show live, then people have to come to that time and turn on the TV to see it. Otherwise, they cannot participate. So actually, from a TV show perspective, that would be pretty good because then you can actually get people live again. And that could be a very nice pilot to say, like, for big sport events like the Super Bowl, where you can basically talk about, some marketing promotions, some donations, whatever you would like to do. Get that thing in real time, collect funds for good things in real time. I think that's going to be tremendous. Also, what I just realized is, and I'm always fascinated by that the last couple of months already, is if you look into the startup world and you are a regular company, you have a good idea, you want to build a new application, a new product, a software, maybe a hardware product, and you look for money, you raise funds. It is a long way. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of talks with different investors. And then if you look into the blockchain world, it's a wild west, and it's in most terms quite shocking to see, where startups who would fail any kind of VC or angel investment due diligence are raising millions without even giving out any shares of the company.
Yeah.
So if you put that into perspective, what you can get on a blockchain world and then in the regular world, wow, yeah. So if we have a show like that promoting BitShares, promoting Graphene, and the Hero, I think that's going to be a lot of fun for us in the next couple of months and years to come.
Yeah, I think, and these guys are really determined. So they'll get something as an initial stake in the ground coming up here at the end of the month, and I'm sure it'll be great. And then I think it'll get greater as they go along.
Well, do we have more questions about the Hero and about the upcoming show for Stan?
Stan, this is a question. I don't know if you can elaborate on anything that might be connected to this for after this. Essentially, if there are subsequent plans related to Hero.
We have quite a few torpedoes in the water. I'll talk about them when they hit something.
Okay.
We have one question here from Johnny Bitcoin. Can the Hero be forced settled?
I believe that's true. It's just using the standard mechanism for a private market pegged asset. So, it'll work that way. It works, the same as the regular MPAs. So anything that would be true for them would be true for the Hero as well. It's just that the definition is not an equal sign. The price feed has a plus 5% in the formula. And other than that, it works just the same.
Is there actually anything from the community side how we could support that project? Is there anything where we should say, like, okay, now we know that is coming. Maybe we should be more active on social media. We should be active in the forums again. We should really basically welcome new people coming in. How can we support you on this journey?
Well, the first thing is give Xerox a few more price feeds so we can get this thing turned on. He's the one that's develop the code and the wikis and everything, and just contact him one way or the other, Xerox, Fabian, and Shua, and get him the things, because we'll turn it on as soon as we have enough price feeds to have confidence that it's going to stay on. And then the rest of it is, I think there are, I've talked to quite a few people that are eager to start using it on both ends, either shorting or just holding. So I think you'll see it start to bubble, and then hopefully we'll convince people to really using it in spades at this event. And who knows what will happen when those marketers start kicking in the promotion. But it's a lot of free advertising for BitShares.
How many price feeds are you targeting, or do you know how many price feeds that you're targeting to have before you start turning this thing on?
I think Fabian initialized it to require 5 as a minimum, and he wants 2 more than that before he's willing to turn it on, just so he's got a little bit of headroom, and then he'd love to have a lot more than that.
I thought there'd be at least that many now.
Yeah, I haven't heard from Fabian, but I'll try to get a hold of him later today and see if he's ready to go or where we are on that.
So you're traveling to California this weekend? Is this event that you're going to this weekend?
No, it'll be the end of the month, the last weekend in the month. The 28th is the grand finale, and I'll probably be there all week leading up to it.
Cool.
Well, that's a Sunday. Well, what a pity. So we have to wait a full week before we can talk about it on the radio show again.
Yeah, it'll take you that time to climb down off the walls.
All right. I just want to bring up, if you have no further questions for this one, and I think that is a really exciting topic we should all support as much as we can. I just read that we had a couple of issues with on the witness side 2 days ago. Do we have a couple of more updates about that? What happened here? And as far as I understand, and it was all solved. So big ups to all the witnesses, and thanks to all the community members who helped us to fix that problem. Can anybody talk more about that?
Well, there was a vulnerability that was discovered, and I don't know the details of that. I just know the vulnerability was discovered, and some of the coder types in the witness community found a solution and pushed that forward through GitHub, and we all republished a new version of the binaries to circumvent that vulnerability. But I couldn't really give you any details about the vulnerability myself. How about you, Talkinator? Could you do that?
Sure, briefly. And Fox also posted briefly his description, which is nice and short. Essentially, the network what it could occur is that a rogue could push invalid transactions, and so this is what was discovered. And the person who first identified this was Abit, and he identified this and realized that how to address it, and he did so quickly, and then it was quickly pushed out.
And how long took the whole process?
I know when it started, but I don't know when all the witnesses were finally updated.
Xerox called for a 48-hour, after the announcement for the fix was put in place, Xerox said that if he didn't see witnesses upgrade within 48 hours, he was going to withhold his proxy vote for them. So that gives you an idea of how urgent people thought that was.
Well, I think that is I think that's a very good confirmation for all of us that the BitShares platform is very active and the witnesses are very active. Just one point I would like to bring up about the witnesses, because I just learned that last week. I really have to thank Data from the bank. He talked to me and he informed me basically how the witness voting actually works, and this is something I think that we all should know. That's why I would like to mention it today. It's the following. When you vote for the different parties, so workers, committee, and witnesses, for the worker, the only thing that counts is who has the most shares, the most votes, will get the funds from the worker. When you vote for a committee, your vote will be distributed to the people you vote. So if you vote for one committee member, all your votes go for one committee member. If you vote for 2 or 3 different committee members, your share power, your voting power will be distributed. This is completely different with witnesses. I learned from Data that when you vote for a witness, your full voting power is going to that witness, and it's actually better to vote for as much witnesses as possible because of the blockchain math. So because what is happening is, please correct me if I'm wrong here, I think a couple of the other witnesses here understand that better. Basically, when you vote for one witness, you basically give up one vote for one witness with full power. If you do, and then you claim basically that you only want to have one witness in total. If you now vote for 5 witnesses, every 5 of those witnesses will you get your full voting power, but in total you're voting for 5 witnesses. So if you do the math, and if you think that the BitShares blockchain should have 11 witnesses or 15 witnesses or just 5 witnesses to protect the whole network, you should vote according to the total amount of witnesses you would like to have. So for example, I have to correct my vote right now because I just vote for not enough witnesses. So I am actually reducing the total amount of witnesses in my current voting settings. If you do something similar, so if you just one witness, then I would like to introduce you to rethink that position, because you're actually reducing the total amount of witnesses that are elected and getting paid. So if you vote for more, and please do your due diligence which witnesses you would like to support, support as much witnesses as you can, because that will increase the total amount of witnesses that are block producing and getting paid for the work. Did I understand that correctly?
I actually hadn't heard the distinction between votes going to witnesses versus votes going to committees and workers. So I will check into that to see if actually is how it works. How did you find that out? It was from who, Mr. Chris?
Data told me about that. He was pinging me that I should update my votes, and I think that is a very interesting new feature that we just learned how that part works.
I don't know if it's a new feature or not, but it might be new information to us.
Yeah, that's it. Buzz, do you know more about this part? I think Buzz has no microphone.
Or he's away from the keyboard.
Well, anyways, I think that's a very interesting topic, and we should definitely know more about it, and we should also educate people about it, because when we vote, we should understand how the voting is distributed. And of course, we would like to see as many active witnesses as possible, the best witnesses possible, to protect the blockchain. And if we can improve also our own voting participation, it is good to know how that works. Regarding the bug that was discovered, so basically the problem was, as far as I understand it, that, and G-Chicken is just summarizing it here, the witnesses could push invalid transaction in a block, but the block would be considered invalid by other witnesses because it contains the invalid transaction? Oh, that's a question.
Well, there was something I noticed that I don't remember who posted or where I saw it, but within the last few hours, that if the witnesses are running seed nodes, and they all should be, and I know all of them aren't, but anybody that operates a seed node should consider changing it so that there's a parameter for only doing validation or to add validation to the seed node operation. So that would help security quite a bit. And it would completely address this issue as well, because anybody that would broadcast such a node, such a invalid transaction, all the seed nodes would be collectively, barring it or not including it in their chain. Well, the seeds don't do that. I'm sorry, but they would certainly be able to flag that invalid transaction.
And also, just to follow up on the question, I forgot who asked it in terms of how quickly it was resolved. According to Fox, it was the 51% of the witnesses were able to apply the patch within 12 hours, and 2/3 were able to do it within 18 hours.
So less than 24 hours, and we had that fix deployed. So that's pretty quick reaction.
Right.
You would never see that in Bitcoin. You would never see that action that quickly in Bitcoin.
Well, I think it just gives us a very good feeling that the community is very active and the network is protected very well, and that also the communication channels between the witnesses are very efficient, so that we can reach out to the people who are managing the security of the network are reachable within a couple of hours. I think that is very good. I'm really happy to hear that.
And just to quickly also highlight that there were at least 2 witnesses who highlighted who were able to patch very quickly, and I just don't recall who they were.
All right. I think that's definitely a very good area where we can stop for this week already. Do we have one more topic for the end of the show? We have 5 minutes left.
I'd like to bring up one, if you guys don't mind, and that is I learned something that was very stunning to me. I won't say that it was surprising, but at the same time, BitShares is, even now, so severely undervalued. And I feel like there was a piece of data that I'd like to just give to everybody here and see what you guys think about it. Total transactions per day, the top 5 in crypto, in order from 1 to 5. Bitcoin, followed by BitShares, followed by Steam, followed by Ethereum at 4th, and ETH Classic at 5th. Now, an interesting thing is that Steam, BitShares, and Bitcoin all each individually have more transactions per day than both Ethereums combined. So if that statistic has anything to do with the value proposition that BitShares represents in the space, I think it's something that people maybe should look at.
I think that's definitely a slide for Stan on the TED Talk.
Absolutely. I really, Fuzzy, if you wouldn't mind, get me that down in paper so my old head can hold it. But
I've memorized it. I have memorized it because it's so telling, right? What is the biggest thing that everybody is talking about in crypto? Transaction. Why go to the mass adoption level, right? And it's because grandma can't wait 10 minutes for a cup of coffee, and the nerds who really know blockchain technology don't want a centralized solution to make it quicker. So that's what I'll end my statements on.
Don't forget to give that information to Stan in writing.
Oh, I've got Stan's number. He'll get that and probably more. But I would like to also thank it is BTS Wolf who came out with that. I have to give credit where it's due.
Some of the statistics have been pretty amazing over the last week. There's no doubt about that. Lots of I see it backing off a little bit now. We have a sideways market or maybe a little decline, but it's still it's over 10x what it was 2 months ago.
There's no reason why we have to use CoinMarketCap's as the sorting criteria for who's number one, who's most popular. That may have to do with money, but in terms of transactions, that's, to me, the most used blockchain And therefore,
Yeah,
I want to sort all the leaders' transactions, and we'll be at the top.
If we would have as much users as Bitcoin and more transactions, that would put us solidly to the top. But right now we are right behind Bitcoin, I think. We need more users.
and we have one of the best funnels in Steam because, let's face it, it's a great funnel for newbies to crypto. I would say it might be the best funnel in cryptocurrency to create new crypto. I don't want to call us addicts, but what's a better word? Enthusiasts isn't probably strong enough. Anyway, thank you guys for joining up today. We'll join up as we do every week at 1 p.m. UCT. My apologies. And I look forward to hearing more good news and more clarifications from things, because let's face it, this is kind of like what's the saying, making sausage. It's not always pretty, but let's hope that we make some good beer brats at the end of this and sit around a fire and laugh about all of the history, because I'm seeing some amazing stuff, man.
I like that you featured BitShares Island in your graphics there, Stan. That was kind of cool too.
Me too. And I've been trying to talk Joey D into considering, because I can afford it now, thank God. And I'm trying, I would love to get something going now. And I think Joey D's interested too. But that's for another day. Thank you everybody for joining up. Thanks, Chris, for helping me run this, man. You guys are always doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I hope everything gets cleared up in that area. I know I see two good people, and I want them both to come out on top, and I'm rooting for that. So I look forward to all you guys in the updates next week, and let's say goodbye and farewell.
Thank you, Fuzzy.
Until we meet again.
Thank you, Fuzzy. I'm looking forward to the next show next week, and I'm very happy and excited to hear and watch the TED Talk from Stan. I think that's going to be absolutely amazing. We have to celebrate that. Definitely.
Hear, hear.
Fun for everyone.